The country of Persia was also like Hindustan and China, and many kings were under its control. The king there was very glorious and very radiant and was loved by the people because of his justice. The king had 2 sons, the elder son's name was Shahriyar and the younger son's name was Shahzaman. Both the princes were talented, brave, patient and well-behaved. When the king died, Prince Shahriyar ascended the throne and gave the kingdom, army and treasury of the Tartar country to his younger brother who respected him a lot. Shahzaman obeyed his elder brother and made Samarkand, which was the best and biggest of all the cities of the world, his capital for the management of the country and started living comfortably. When it had been 10 years since they were separated, the elder one wanted to send someone to call him. He ordered his minister to call him and the minister, after receiving this order, left with great pomp and show. When he reached near the city of Samarkand, Shahzaman, on hearing this news, left his capital with the army to receive him and on reaching outside the city, he met the minister. He was happy to see him. Shahzaman started asking about the well-being of his brother Shahriyar. The minister bowed down to Shahzaman and told him about his brother's condition. That minister was a great follower of the king Shahriyar and loved him. Shahzaman said to him, "Brother, I am very happy that my elder brother has sent you to take me. I respect his orders. If God wishes, I will prepare for the journey in 10 days and appoint my representative in the government and will go with you. All the arrangements for food and drink for you and your army will be made here. Therefore, you stay at this place only." Therefore, arrangements for food and drink etc. were made at the same place and they stayed there. On this occasion, the king made preparations for the journey and appointed his trusted minister in his place. One evening, he took leave from his Begum, who was very dear to him, and left Samarkand with his servants and companions, and after reaching his tent, he started talking with the minister. At midnight, he wished to meet his Begum once again. He reached the palace alone, hiding from everyone. The Begum did not even suspect his arrival, she was sleeping with one of her insignificant and ugly servants. Shahzaman had come thinking that the Begum would be very happy to see him. Seeing her sleeping with another man, he was stunned for a moment. After regaining his composure, he started thinking whether he was having an illusion. But even after looking carefully, when he found the same thing, he started thinking, what kind of a disaster is this that I have not even come out of the defense wall of Samarkand city and such a thing is happening. He started burning in anger and he took out his sword and hit both of them with such hands that their heads got cut and fell under the bed. After this, he threw both the bodies from the back window into the pit and returned to his camp. He did not tell anyone about the night's incident. The next day, the army started moving in the morning. All the people with him were passing the journey happily, but Shahzaman remained sad remembering the sinful act of his Begum and his face kept getting pale day by day. His entire journey passed in this pain. When he reached near the capital of Hindustan and Shahriyar heard this, he came with all his courtiers to welcome Shahzaman. When both of them reached each other, they got down from their horses, hugged each other and after asking each other about their well-being for some time, left with great ceremony. Shahriyar made Shahzaman stay in the palace which was already decorated for him and from where the garden was visible. That palace was big and suitable for welcoming kings. Then Shahriyar asked his brother to take a bath. Shahzaman wore new clothes after taking bath and both the brothers sat on the platform of the palace and kept talking for a long time. All the courtiers stood in their respective places in front of the 2 kings. Even after dinner, both the kings kept talking for a long time. When the night was over, Shahriyar left his brother in the hospitality hall and went to his palace. Shahzaman again became grief-stricken and kept rolling on his bed shedding tears. He kept hiding his sorrow in front of his brother, but as soon as he was left alone, the same sorrow took over him and his pain increased so much that it would stop only after taking his life. He could not forget the misdeed of his Begum even for a moment. He would often wake up crying and always used to take cold breaths. He could not sleep at night. His body started melting slowly in this sorrow and worry. When Shahriyar saw his condition, he thought, that I love Shahzaman so much and take so much care of his comfort and well-being, yet I always see him immersed in the ocean of sorrow. I don't know whether he is worried about his kingdom or is tormented by the separation from his wife. I have unnecessarily called him here and put him in grief. Now it would be appropriate to console him and send him back to Samarkand with the best gifts so that his sorrow can be removed. Thinking this, he sent precious items of Hindustan in plates to Shahzaman and arranged various games and entertainments to entertain him, but Shahzaman's sadness did not decrease, rather it increased. Then Shahriyar told his courtiers that I have heard that after 2 days' journey from here there is a dense forest and good hunting is available there, so I want to go hunting there. You all also get ready and come with me and ask Shahzaman to come along as he will enjoy hunting and his mind will be happy. Shahzaman requested that I am not well, so excuse me from going hunting. Shahriyar said, it is good, if you wish to stay here then stay, but I have made preparations, I am going for hunting with my servants. After Shahriyar left, Shahzaman closed the doors of his residence from inside and sat on a window. From there, the garden of the royal palace was visible. Shahzaman started enjoying himself with the fragrant flowers and the chirping of birds. But despite enjoying the beauty of the house and the garden, he still felt the pain of his wife's misbehavior. When evening came, Shahzaman saw that a secret door of the palace opened and Shahriyar's Begum came out with 20 other women. All of them were adorned with fine clothes and ornaments and came to the garden with the belief that everyone had gone for hunting. Shahzaman sat hidden in the window and started watching what they do. The maids took off the robes they had worn when they had left the palace. Now their faces became clearly visible. Shahzaman was surprised to see that out of the 20 whom he had thought to be women, 10 were Habshi men. All 10 of them held the hand of the maid of their choice. Only the Begum was left without a man. Then the Begum called out, Masood, Masood. On this, a well-built Habshi youth who was waiting for his orders came down from a tree and ran towards the Begum and held her hand. I will not be able to describe out of shame what those 11 Habshi men did to the 10 maids and the Begum. In this way they kept roaming in the garden till midnight. Then after taking a bath in the pond of the garden, the Begum and the 20 men and women accompanying her wore their clothes and went back to the palace through the same secret door through which they had entered. Masood also jumped over the garden wall and went out. Shahzaman was very surprised to see this incident. He thought that I am sad, but my elder brother is even more sad than me. Although he is very powerful and wealthy, he is unable to stop this misdeed, then why should I grieve so much when I have come to know that this vile act happens very often in the world? I am needlessly drowning myself in the ocean of grief. Thinking this, he left all worries and started living a normal life. Earlier he had lost his appetite, but now it was back and he started ordering and eating various kinds of delicious dishes and started enjoying music and dance etc. When Shahriyar returned from hunting, Shahzaman welcomed him with great joy. Shahriyar showed him many hunted animals and said that it is a matter of great regret that you did not go hunting, there is a place of great joy there. Shahzaman used to answer everything of the king cheerfully. Shahriyar had thought that on his return also he would find Shahzaman immersed in sorrow and grief, but on the contrary, seeing him happy and satisfied, he said, "O brother, I am thankful to God that I saw you happy and disease-free in such a short period. Now I swear to ask you one thing, you must tell me that thing." Shahzaman said, "Whatever you ask, I will definitely tell you." Shahriyar said, "When you came here from your capital, I saw you drowned in the ocean of grief. I tried many ways to cheer you up, arranged for various games and entertainments, but your condition remained the same. I thought a lot about what could be the reason for this sadness, but I could not think of any reason other than the fact that you are sad about the separation from your wife and are worried about the administration of the state. But what happened now that your sorrow and worry have gone away?" Shahzaman kept quiet on hearing this, but when Shahriyar asked the same question again and again, he said, "You are my master, you are elder to me, I will not answer this question because it is a matter of great shamelessness." Shahriyar said that I will not feel at peace until you tell me this. Shahzaman was helpless and described in detail the misdeed of his Begum and said that I was sad because of this. Shahriyar said, "Brother, you have told a very surprising, impossible thing. You did a great job by killing such an adulteress along with her lover. No one can call you unjust in this matter. If I were in your place, I would not have been satisfied with killing one woman, I would have killed 1,000 women. Tell me, how did this grief go away after I went out?" Shahzaman said, "I am afraid to say this, lest you will be more saddened than me on hearing this." Shahriyar said, "Brother, by saying this you have increased my curiosity even more, now I will not be at peace without hearing this, so please tell me this." Helplessly, Shahzaman told the whole story of Masood, the 10 maids and the begum and said, I have seen this incident with my own eyes and have understood that all women have evil and sin in their nature. And a man should not trust them. I have forgotten my sorrow after seeing this whole incident, and that is why I look healthy and happy. Even after hearing this, Shahriyar did not believe his brother's statement. He said in an angry tone, Are all the begums of our country adulterous? I will not believe what you say until I see it with my own eyes. It is possible that you are mistaken. Shahzaman said, By Sahib, if you want to see it yourself, then give permission for hunting again. Both of us should march out of the city with the army. Stay in our camps for the whole day and come and sit quietly in this house at night. Then you will definitely see with your own eyes the entire business that I have told you about. Shahriyar accepted this and ordered his courtiers that he would go hunting again tomorrow. So, the next day, early in the morning, both the brothers went hunting and stayed in their tents outside the city. When night fell, Shahriyar called the minister and ordered him that he was going on an important work and he should not let any army man go from here. Thereafter, both the brothers came to the city secretly on their horses and before dawn, sat in the same window of Shahzaman's palace from which Shahzaman had seen the whole incident. Before sunrise, the back door of the palace opened and after some time, the begum came out from there with the same Abyssinians dressed as women and came to the garden and called Masood. Seeing this whole situation, which is neither worth telling nor worth hearing, Shahriyar started saying in his mind, Oh God, what a tragedy it is that the wife of a great king like me is such an adulteress. Then he said to Shahzaman that it would be better if we leave this temporary world in which one moment is of happiness and the other of sorrow, and abandon our countries and armies and spend the rest of our lives in other countries and do not tell anyone anything about this disgusting business. Shahzaman did not like this, but seeing his brother's extremely sad condition, he did not think it right to refuse and said, Brother, I am your follower and will obey your orders completely. But I have one condition. When you see someone suffering from this misfortune more than you, then return to your country. Shahriyar said, I accept your condition, but I think that no person in the world will suffer as much as we have. Shahzaman said, You will come to know this thing well after traveling a little. So both of them secretly went out of the city through a deserted road. After walking the whole day, they slept under a tree at night. The next day morning they went further from there, and while walking they reached a beautiful garden which was built on the bank of a river. There were dense and big trees planted far and wide in this garden. There they sat under a tree and started resting and talking. Only a little while later, both of them were very frightened and started trembling after hearing a terrifying sound. After some time, they saw that there was a crack in the river water and a black pillar started emerging from it. It became so high that its upper part disappeared in the clouds of the sky. Seeing this incident, both the brothers became even more frightened and climbed a tall tree and sat hiding in its branches and leaves. They saw that the black pillar started moving towards the bank of the river, and on reaching the bank, it transformed into a very scary demon. Now both of them became even more frightened and sat on another high branch. When the demon came to the river bank, they saw that on his head there was a big and strong lead box which had 4 brass locks. The demon came to the river bank, took the box off his head and placed it under the same tree where the 2 brothers were hiding. Then he opened the 4 locks of the box one by one with the 4 keys hanging from his waist. When he opened the box, a very beautiful woman came out of it who was adorned with the finest clothes and ornaments. The demon looked at the woman with love and said, Dear, you are incomparable in beauty. It has been a long time since I kidnapped you on your wedding night. All this time you have been very blameless and loyal to me. I am feeling very sleepy right now, so I want to sleep near you. Saying this, the demon with a very scary figure slept with his head on the woman's thigh. His body was so huge that his feet were touching the water of the river. While sleeping, the sound of his breathing was as if the clouds were thundering. The whole atmosphere was vibrating with that sound. Once by chance when the woman looked up she saw both the brothers hiding in the leaves. She signaled both of them to come down. Understanding her intention, both of them became more afraid. Both of them requested her with gestures to let them stay hidden on the tree. The woman gently took the demon's head from her lap and placed it on the ground and got up and gave them courage and said that there is nothing to fear, you come down and sit near me. She also threatened that if you do not come then I will wake up the demon and he will kill both of you. Hearing this, they got very scared and quietly came down. Smiling, the woman took both of them by the hand and took them under a tree and asked them to have sex with her. At first both of them refused, but then, being afraid of her threat, they did what she wanted. After this, the woman asked for 1 ring from each of them. Then she took out a small box and asked them if they knew what was in it. "And what is it for?" They said, "We don't know, you tell me what is in it." The beautiful lady said, "It has the marks of those people who have had relations with me like you." These were 98 rings, and after getting your 2, they became 100. Despite such strict surveillance by this demon, I have done such arbitrariness 100 times. This wicked demon is so infatuated with me that he does not separate me from himself even for a moment, and with great care hides me in this lead box and keeps me at the bottom of the sea. But despite all his cleverness and protection, I do whatever I want, and all the arrangements of this poor man become useless. Now you can understand from my condition that when a woman is sexually aroused, no one can stop her from committing misdeeds. After this, she took their rings and came back to her place. She again put the demon's head in her lap and signaled both of them to leave. Both of them left from there, and when they went far away, Shahzaman said to his elder brother Shahriyar, "Look, despite so much security and strict arrangements, this woman is fulfilling her heart's desire. Also see how much faith the demon has in her and how he was praising her innocence. Now you tell justly whether this poor man is more unfortunate than us or not. We have found what we had set out to find. Now we should go to our respective countries and not marry any woman, because hardly any woman is innocent." So Shahriyar did as his younger brother said, and from there both of them went to Shahriyar's capital. After 3 nights they reached their armies. Shahriyar did not want to go hunting further and returned to the capital. Going to the palace, he ordered the minister to take the Begum and punish her with death. The minister did the same as per the king's orders. Then Shahriyar killed all the 10 adulterous maids with his own hands. After this, Shahriyar thought that he should do something so that after marriage his Begum does not get the opportunity to commit adultery. Therefore he decided to get married at night and get the Begum killed in the morning. After that he bid farewell to his brother Shahzaman. He went to Samarkand with his army carrying the invaluable gifts given by Shahriyar. After Shahzaman left, he ordered his prime minister to bring the daughter of a feudal lord for marriage. The prime minister brought the daughter of an emir. Shahriyar married her and spent the whole night with her, and in the morning ordered his minister to kill her and bring a beautiful daughter of a chieftain for him to marry. The minister killed that queen, and in the evening brought another rich man's daughter, and the next day he killed her too. Similarly, Shahriyar married the daughters of hundreds of rich chieftains and got them killed the next morning. Now it was the turn of ordinary citizens. The news of this heinous injustice spread everywhere. Voices of grief, sorrow, and weeping started rising in the entire city. Somewhere the father was crying 8 tears on the death of his daughter, somewhere the mother of the girl was crying. The parents and relatives of the girls who were still alive were very sad. Many people left the country with their daughters and settled in other countries. The minister there had 2 unmarried daughters. The elder one was named Scheherazade and the younger one was named Duniyazade. Scheherazade was more sharp-witted than her sisters and friends. Whatever she heard or saw in a book, she never forgot it. She was also proficient in the art of conversation. She knew by heart the stories and poems of ancient sages and was herself adept at writing prose and poetry. Apart from all these qualities, she also had a unique beauty. One day she told her father that she wanted to tell him something, but he would have to agree to her. The minister said, "If your words are worth accepting, then I will definitely agree." Scheherazade said that I am determined to stop the king from this injustice that he is doing and to relieve the parents of the girls who are still alive from their worries. The minister said, "Daughter, how can you stop this massacre? What solution do you have to stop this injustice?" Scheherazade said, "It is in your hands. I swear to you that you should marry me to the king." The minister started trembling on hearing this and said, "Daughter, have you gone mad that you are talking such nonsense? Don't you know the king's vow? You should think before you speak. How will you be able to stop the king from this injustice? You will lose your life in vain." Scheherazade said, "I know the king's vow very well, but I will not give up this idea of mine in any way. If I am killed like the other girls, I will be freed from this ephemeral world, and if I turn the king away from this cruelty, I will be able to do a great service to the people of my city." The minister said, "I cannot accept your wish in any way. How can I knowingly put you in such a difficult situation? It is strange that you ask me to prepare for my death. Which father would be such who would even think of doing this for his beloved child? You may not love your life, but I cannot stain my hands with your blood." Scheherazade still remained adamant on her insistence and kept requesting for marriage. The minister said, "You are making me angry for no reason. Why do you want to die? Why are you so angry with your life? Listen, whoever does any work without thinking has to repent later. I am afraid that your condition may become like that of the donkey who lived happily but had to suffer due to foolishness." Scheherazade said, "Tell me this story." The minister narrated the story.